In this video, we're going to show you how to install the radiator on your Hummer H3 located behind the front grille. I'm going to go ahead and open up our radiator cap. You want to make sure that the vehicle is cold. Crack that open. And go ahead and set that to the side. Now I want to go ahead and use some pliers, and we want to take this hose clamp. We're going to pinch that. We're going to slide that back. And while you're sliding that back, we're going to go ahead and take the hose and bring it back. Now you may lose a little bit of coolant from the radiator. It's not going to be a lot. But if you do, we do have a catch can underneath to catch any. Go ahead and use a securing strap. And we're going to use this to pull this hose back and out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and pull off our expansion tube here. Now we're going to twist this and pull it out. Don't bend it up and down. You'll snap this off. Pull it out of the little clip here. I'm just going to pop that in the hose there. Now, in removing our fan shroud, you're going to come down on the passenger side, and there's a little tab right here. Okay. Now, right in front of it, you're going to push in and then rotate with the other finger, and we're going to rotate this. And it's going to come around to another tab. We're going to do the same thing. Push in and continue to rotate until this tab comes up to 12 o'clock. And you're going to hear it snap into place. On the top center here, we want to go ahead and remove this 13 millimeter bolt using a 13 mil socket. And then pull up. Now when we pull up on this bracket, we're going to twist it because there's a locking tab right here. And then pull that up and out. Now on the passenger side here, we're going to gently push the radiator towards the engine, and there's a 10 millimeter bolt right here. So we're going to use our gear wrench, and we're going to unbolt the AC condenser from the radiator on the passenger side. Okay, let's go ahead and remove the one on the driver's side. It's in the same location. Now on the driver's side here, you do have the option to remove the bolt from the top here, or you can actually go through the grill with an extension and get to the bolt that way there. Now to grab that bolt, you can squeeze your fingers down in there. I'm going to show you how to get to it with the extension and the socket. So you go ahead and put your extension in your socket right through this last grill opening, and it's going to go straight back, and it's going to connect you right to that 10 mil bolt. You can see the socket right here. Put that onto that bolt. You can spin that out the rest of the way. There's that bolt. And you just pull out your extension and set that aside. We're going to use a 13 millimeter socket. I'm just going to loosen these. And let's move to the top here. I'm going to remove these. Now at this point, we can grab the shield here. We're going to slide it back. With the vehicle raised and supported, I'm going to go ahead and remove our center cap. You can use a flathead screwdriver or a trim tool, and you're going to come in right behind here and gently pry out and pop that off. Using a 19 millimeter socket, I'm going to go ahead and loosen and remove our lug nuts. Go ahead and grab that wheel, remove it, and set it aside. Now underneath the vehicle on the driver's side, you're going to locate your radiator hose here. Now normally radiators are going to have a drain on it, and this particular one does not. So what we have to do is loosen our clamp and just wiggle our hose back gently until it starts to leak, and then we're going to catch it into our catch can, and hopefully we'll be able to avoid a big splash. But you definitely want to make sure you have means to collect any spilled coolant. I'm going to try and slide our hose back here. Just sliding the hose clamp off there. Go grab that hose and we're going to push that up a little bit. Now from underneath, we have two transmission cooler lines going into both the left and right hand side here. I want to go ahead and separate those from the radiator. So there's a black collar right here. We're going to grab that and slide that back. Now there's a metal locking clip right here. And what we need to do is we're going to use our pick. And we need to try and pull that locking clip out. There we go. Get the pick underneath one edge and you're just pulling one side out. Now this will spring and shoot off, so you want to put your finger on one side of it. You're going to lift that up and you can see the clip coming undone there. We're going to be reusing this clip, so hold on to that. And when you get it off, that's it right there. Now what I'm going to do is, before I pull this out, because we are going to lose transmission fluid, I'm going to go ahead and do the same on the other side. Then I'm going to put my drain bucket underneath and pull them both at the same time. There we go. We got our second one out. Now the cooler lines are held into these metal clips. Now you can pop the line out of the clip, or in our case here, we're just going to pull it down and that clip is going to come loose from the radiator itself. Just pull it down, and once that's loose, we go ahead and separate the transmission line. Just going to wiggle that. And we do the same on the other side. In order to pull out our fan shroud, on the upper portion here on the driver's side, right beside the AC line, there's a little tab. Now this tab is located right here, and what you have to do is, I'm going to reach in with my finger to move it, but it has to get pulled forward, or actually towards the engine itself. There's one here and there's one on the other side in order to unlock the shroud and then lift up. So with one hand, I'm going to grab the shroud. I'm going to gently apply pressure upward, and I'm going to push in on this tab. And that just unlocked there. I'm going to go ahead and reach over to the other side and do the same here. There it is. Now you need to work the fan shroud around the AC line over here. And pull it up just a little bit. Now as you're pulling this up, you're pulling out the two plastic pins or alignment pins at the base. And then once you pull those out, you can pull the shroud towards the engine, or push it towards the engine, and then work it up. So right down along the bottom of the radiator is a rubber splash shield, or a shroud that goes underneath, and it goes underneath the front of the vehicle. Now I'm just going to reach down to show you with the pry bar. You want to go ahead and gently work this off when it comes across the whole front, pulling it off of these brackets. You got to do this here before we pull the radiator out. Otherwise you're going to have this giant rubber flap catching on everything as you're pulling it out. Easier to do it now than to try and struggle with it pulling it out. All right, it is now separated. We can now lift up the radiator. And we're going to go ahead and push our radiator towards the engine. And right in front here, we have the AC condenser. Now the AC condenser has tabs sticking out on both sides. Now we need to reach down, grab those tabs, and lift up on the AC condenser. That's going to remove the AC condenser from the radiator. There's a U channel that the AC condenser drops into on that radiator. So we're gently going to wiggle that, lift it up. Then we can grab that radiator and shift it with the AC condenser separated. We can lift up our radiator, pull it up and out. Just watch as it comes up. Now when you have your radiator out, On both the driver's side and the passenger side, you're going to notice that there's a rubber grommet here, and this is an insulator. You want to simply grab that, just kind of twist it off and work that off. You need to swap this over to the new radiator. You do this on both sides. Take the rubber grommet, slide that in or on. Make sure that's fully seated. Do that on the other side. Now, I just want to show you the tabs on the bottom of our AC condenser. These are the tabs. So one on the passenger side here and then one on the driver's side. And this is what locks into the C channel on the front of our radiator. So when we put in the radio, I want to make sure that this locks in on both sides. And then right over here, these are the mounts where the insulators go for your radiator. So you need to line that up as well. Good and carefully lower down the radiator. I'm going to put our radiator grommets in. All right, our next thing is we want to go ahead and take our AC condenser. We're going to use our tabs on that, lift that up and drop that down into the radiator. Now from underneath, we want to go ahead and install our splash shield here that we had removed from the top earlier. So we're just going to slide this over our lower radiator hose, up and over the tabs, bring this up and over. Now on the two center tabs is actually rubber posts, if you want to call them that. They have to get pulled up and then drop down into the tab on the radiator. It's kind of, they're like support tabs. So you just pull that up and tuck those down and in. There's just two of those in the center. Pull that up and over this tab here. And then we can tuck that back up underneath the bumper. Just like so. So I put some spray solvent on a rag here, and I'm going to clean the ports for my transmission cooler lines. I'm going to do this on both sides. Now we need to install our clips here that hold the transmission cooler line to the radiator itself. Now there's 3 points that need to go through, so there's slots around here, around the perimeter. So you need to get this lower loop here, the center, and this other side here to snap in. So it's going to require you to kind of stretch that clip a little bit, and it is a little bit tedious to do so. Sometimes you have to use the pick to kind of get that around. And that is in place. Now we can take our line here, line that up and push it in. And you're gonna feel it press into the O-ring, and then you're gonna feel it snap on to that. And give it a little tug, and then it's secured. Put a little cap on here. Once you're all set there, go ahead and repeat this process for the other side. Let's go ahead and install our lower radiator hose. Now the first thing before you do that, go ahead and inspect it. Wipe it down. What you're looking for is to see if the hose is swollen, split, or any defects or anything like that you want to pay attention to. The other thing is the hose clamp. Now our clamp that we took off was a little bit rusty, and we did find a piece that was compromised on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to a worm gear style hose clamp here. We don't want to risk having a hose blow off on us while we're driving. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get our hose positioned and our hose clamp on. Let's line this up and work that onto the radiator. Once you see that that hose is fully seated down there, I'll go ahead and tighten down the clamp. Want to make sure that hose clamp is roughly exposing about maybe 3/8 of an inch or 1/2 an inch. And go ahead and snug that down. You can take your wheel, line it up on those studs, set it in place. We're going to go ahead and get all of our lug nuts started by hand. Once they're all started, we're going to go ahead and snug them down. Now I want to go ahead and snug these down in a crisscross pattern. We're now going to torque down our lug nuts to 103 foot-pounds. When doing this, you want to do it in a crisscross pattern. Grab your center cap. You want to line up this leg with the opening here in the wheel. And take our skid plate, slide this up under the front bumper, and then we're going to bring the back over these bolts. Slide that up. I'm going to install our 2 bolts up from the bumper to the skid plate, get these started. And let's go ahead and tighten them all down. Do the 2 front ones first, and then the 2 rear. Lower our fan shroud down. And make sure that you can line up the alignment pins on the base into the base of the radiator. There we go. We got the passenger side in. Lift up on that condenser. Wiggle this one here. Here we go. Top center is locked into the radiator. 2 lock tabs and the 2 posts at the bottom. Go ahead and take the tab on the top. Rotate that around. There's going to be another tab here. Spin that around. And that is going to come around to the passenger side and press it down. So you have all of these signs up top here and you're locked into place. Take our bolt on our extension and socket, feed that in. Now threading in the driver's side AC condenser bolt into the radiator. Now we have it in about 90% of the way. We're going to not tighten it yet. I want to go ahead and get that passenger side bolt started. Install our passenger side AC condenser bolt. Now that we have them both started, I'm going to go ahead and snug those down. All right, just snug that down gently. And let's go ahead and tighten down the driver's side. Take your bracket, and we'll go ahead and start with this sideways and then rotate it in and drop that down. Get that bolt started and go ahead and snug that down. Take your expansion tube, install that on the port right here. Then we can remove our securing strap on our upper radiator hose. Go ahead and install the hose. You want to go ahead and inspect that hose, make sure that the hose isn't swollen or has any splits or any signs of wear on there. If they are worn or swollen, you want to go ahead and replace these hoses. Now that you have your hoses on, you can go ahead and fill your radiator. We're going to put in our funnel here. And go ahead and fill this with the appropriate fluid. Now we're going to go ahead and continue to fill this until there's no more room here, and then we'll cap this off, remove it, and put our lid on. Now that you have your radiator filled, go ahead and install your cap. Now after you've filled up your radiator and everything is all set there, you want to go ahead and just double check your transmission fluid. And you want to top that off as necessary because we did lose some fluid from the radiator when we did remove that. So go ahead and fill that up as accordingly. Now before you start up your vehicle, go ahead and locate your expansion tank here. You want to go ahead and evacuate this fluid, and we want to top it off with some fresh fluid. Now you can use a tool like we have here. You can use something as simple as a turkey baster. Go ahead and evacuate that fluid. Remove as much as you can, and then we'll top it off with fresh. Go ahead and grab a clean funnel that you want to use for your antifreeze. Now we're going to go ahead and fill this up. There should be a marking on this tank there that shows a high and low. So go ahead and fill accordingly. So our expansion tank has the cold fill line just below the seam. So we filled it up to the seam itself because our radiator has been replaced. We want to make sure we have just that little bit extra, so when the engine burps out any air, we'll have some extra coolant in there to take up that place. Go ahead and remove that funnel, install the cap. Now at this point here, you want to go ahead and hop into the vehicle. You want to start it up, let it run for about 15-20 minutes, allow for that thermostat to open up. When that does, it's going to take coolant from here and from our expansion tank here and run it through the engine. You want to go ahead and check the level on your expansion tank here. Make sure that the level is proper with the engine warmed up. If you do need to add coolant, add it through the cap itself here. Never ever open up this radiator cap when it's hot.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.